Hello and welcome to the Portsmouth Newsroom. Thank you for tuning in to this month's episode. I'm Caroline Sweet, your anchor for today's broadcast. As a reminder, from across the Seacoast area, Portsmouth Newsroom is here to bring you stories illuminating our communities and developments that have a positive influence on our daily lives. Today, we will dive into events coming up, a February recap, and an interview with Portsmouth Public Media's own Alexis Mason on how to keep moving and motivated. Today is March 8th, which is International Women's Day. This year's theme is Inspire Inclusion and to understand and value women's inclusion. The International Women's Day organization states that when women are inspired to be included, there's a sense of belonging, relevance, and empowerment. To learn more about the importance of this day and how you can support the inclusion of women, go to internationalwomensday.com and make sure to respect and support the women in your life today and every day. If you're still feeling intimidated by the wintry chills that just seem to keep lingering in the Seacoast area, Portsmouth Public Media has an array of online content that you can indulge in from the comfort of your own home. The Seacoast Storytellers perform live at the PPM TV studios every third Tuesday of the month, and we will record it and share it with you via YouTube within the following days. Tune in to listen to the Seacoast Best Storytellers share tales from across time and from around the world as they keep the art of storytelling alive in the modern age. On the topic of Portsmouth Public Media, I had the opportunity to sit down with Alexis Mason, who hosted the morning show Priority One for many years. Her show brought in millions of viewers as she shared accessible workout routines that can be done from the comfort of your own home. Alexis prioritizes functional fitness and is going to share with us some of her tips and tricks to a healthy lifestyle. Today we're at Gather's annual Thanksgiving food distribution. We're going to be talking with some of the volunteers, staff, and members to learn a little bit more about the organization and ways that you can give back to your community. So Jim, how long have you been volunteering with Gather?
I've been volunteering here probably about 5 years. And I would say one of the things I enjoy the most is you get to meet some really interesting, fun people in terms of the other volunteers. And in addition to that, you get to work with the great staff at Gather.
This is Bonnie from Alliance for Greater Good. Bonnie, could you share with us a little bit more about what you're doing here today with Gather?
We have an event called Share the Warmth, where we've reached out to lots of people in the community that have donated hats, mittens, gloves for people that need them. So we have actually collected with Timberland, they gave us a large donation of items too, over 2,000 hats, mittens, gloves, socks, everything from toddlers, men's, women, children, and we're here today to give them out to anyone that needs them.
Kathy, could you share with us a little bit about what Gather means to you?
You know, Gather's a great provision for the local community. It's really wonderful to see the volunteer spirit and the generosity, so we really appreciate it. We have ourselves different ones in our family that we're helping to care for, some elderly members as well, and so this is a real help to us.
Gather is the best because you can go every day that they're open and whatnot. I help out families in need as well as myself. So I cook meals for sick people and stuff like that and deliver them and, do what I can. And Gather helps me do that.
So Kate, if I was someone who wanted to get involved with helping out or volunteering with Gather, what are some of the steps I would take to achieve that?
Well, the first thing would be to volunteer. We're always looking for volunteers. We rely on about 50 volunteers a day and 250 volunteers a month. So if you want to email volunteer@gathering.org, that'll go right to our volunteer manager and she'll get you set up and show you all the different programs. Our pantry, the mothership, is at 210 West Road. It's at Unit 3. And then we're also located, our mobile markets are located all over the board. So Seabrook, Hampton, Somersworth, Rochester, so you can also catch us at one of those locations.
Great, thank you so much. I'm sitting down here today with Papa Joe from the Seacoast Storytelling Guild. He's going to tell us a bit more about his stories and what it means to be a traveling storyteller. So Papa Joe, would you like to start by introducing yourself and kind of how you became a storyteller?
Oh, sure. Well, my mother was a storyteller. She told stories to children pretty much all the time. She was also a Girl Scout leader, a Cub Scout leader. But when we went camping, whenever we pulled up to the campgrounds, it would not very long later, the children would all be there and she'd be telling stories. So I have 9 brothers and sisters. Wow. So when we were driving in a car with all those children stuffed in, she would tell stories to sort of keep us settled and stuff. So I grew up with storytelling.
So would you say with the art of storytelling, most of the stories that you share are from people that you've met and heard their stories, or do you come up with original stories, or kind of how does the lineage of storytelling work?
That's a really good question. There are actually lots of different kinds of storytellers, which is one of the reasons that I'm doing this series, Seacoast Presents, to show several different types.
So what would you say is kind of your favorite part of being a storyteller? What kind of brings you the joy of being a storyteller? I know there must be a lot of elements to it. But
That's a very, very complicated question.
So I'm here with Beth at the 3S Art Space on Vaughan Street in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Beth, would you like to start by introducing yourself and the space we're in?
Sure, and thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. I'm Beth Falconer. I am the Executive Director here at 3S Art Space, and we are a nonprofit contemporary arts organization, multidisciplinary as well. So we like to welcome artists and audiences alike to experience contemporary visual arts, performing arts, music, and also an artisan retail shop.
Amazing. So could you tell us about the exhibits that you currently have on display today?
Yes, right now we are sitting in a group exhibition called Don't Panic here. You know, it's just an easy stop. It's an easy way to get your children accustomed to seeing art without a day trip to Boston.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like important too to have that like artistic aspect to children's lives. I think they already want to be creative, I guess.
Yes.
So definitely seeing like some inspirational pieces like this can really get those creative juices flowing.
Yes.
And
you can afford to make it a habit.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
Just,
yeah.
yeah.
And so what are some other ways that the community could get involved, like outside of just visiting or coming to events? Do you offer like a membership or sponsorship kind of program for those who might want to get a little more invested?
Absolutely, and thank you for the question, because we rely on that investment from our communities, from businesses, from individuals, foundations. As a nonprofit, it's free to attend our gallery. It is not free to produce the work here, to run the space, to have the staffing, to do the curation, to offer all of these events. And so we do have a corporate sponsorship program for businesses where they receive a lot of visibility and recognition and gratitude for their investment in our work, and the same for individuals. Individuals can make straight donations.
This is Portsmouth Newsroom, and that is our show. I'm Caroline Sweet. Thank you for joining me today as we learn about the exciting happenings in the Seacoast area and ways that we can foster a strong community. Thank you.